Hey guys! I hope you guys like book hauls because besides this one, I have two others planned for next month. I didn't do a book haul last month because I bought like 3 books and I didn't see the point of doing a whole video for just the 3 books. So I decided to just combine my October and November book hauls together, which turned out to be quite a few books, so let's just get started. The first 3 books I got are audiobooks. The first one is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, Afterworlds by Scott Westerfield? How do you guys say it? And then The Young World by Chris Wiltz. The Young Worlds, I think it's going to be a while before I actually get to it, and I feel like I'll get to it sooner if it's an audiobook. The Fault in Our Stars, I actually have very little interest in reading, and that's mainly because when I got a physical copy of the book, I didn't know much about it other than everyone was talking about how great John Green's books were. I didn't know that at least one of the characters had cancer. I'm not sure if it's both characters, but that's something I've had to deal with quite a few times in my family, and I really don't wish to read about it, but it is one of those books that I think later on down the road I will want to read. And Afterworlds, my main reason for getting this one is because the book is huge. Can I reach it? I can reach it. This book is huge, and I personally don't think, given the size of this book, that I'm going to get to it soon unless I had something like the audiobook pushing me. Next up, I have an arc of Tempest and Slaughter by Tamara Pierce. I'm not going to say much about this book other than it kind of gave me Harry Potter vibes. And this is also a prequel to her Numenera Chronicles. I'm not sure how to say that word, but this is a prequel book. Next, I have Markswoman by Rati Mehirota. No, that can't be right. But there's her name. This is another arc and it comes out in January. And the only real thing I want to say about this book is that the main character is a member of a sisterhood of elite warriors armed with telekinetic blades. Next up, I have Walking Disaster by Jamie McGregor, and this is the second book to her Beautiful Disaster series. I'm not sure if there's actually more than these 2 books. And since this is the second book, I obviously haven't looked into it. But the first book is really interesting. This girl's entering college and she makes a bet with this bad boy that he can't give up girls for a month. And if she loses this bet, she has to end up moving in with him for a month. Next up, I have A Rock in a Hard Place by Angie Stachan. But this follows a girl named Libby who, after a tragic car accident, is abandoned by her father and forced to move in with her very controlling aunt. So it's a new town, a new school, and no friends. But then she meets our main male protagonist, Peter, who is the lead singer of a rock band with his brothers. And since it's a contemporary, once they find each other, they see that they complete each other in some way, fall madly in love, and happy ever after, and blah blah blah. I really love cutesy contemporaries because 9 times out of 10 they're going to have a really happy ending unless it's an Adam Silvera book. I can't say anything about John Green because I haven't read any John Green books. But that's basically the way all contemporaries go. And for some reason, I never get tired of reading them. Next up is Unbreakable, The Legion, Book 1 by Cami Garcia. She's one of the authors of the Beautiful Creatures series, which I have not read, and really at this point I do not plan to read even though I own all the books. I actually picked up this book at Dollar Tree and I only read the first paragraph of the summary and I was like, okay, that sounds really interesting. It's only $1, I'm gonna pick it up. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph for you guys. When Kennedy Waters finds her mother dead, she doesn't realize that paranormal forces are responsible, not until mysterious identical twins, Jared and Lucas Lockhart, and I probably butchered the name, sorry, break into Kennedy's room and destroy a deadly spirit sent to kill her. Next I have Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. This book is very interesting. I've heard great things about the authors. The actual premise of this book is very unique. It's not every day you come across a book where the main character of the book falls in love with the main character of a book inside a book. Does that make any sense? No. The main character of this book reads a book and falls in love with that main character and vice versa. Very weird. Not sure how that's going to work out. But also very, very interesting. And there's also illustrations throughout the book, which I love me some illustrations, and that's a unicorn. Next up I have Thor's Serpent by K.L. Armstrong and M.A. Marr. And this is the third book in the Blackwell Pages trilogy. I have already read and love this book. The trilogy as a whole deals with Norse mythology, and instead of the main characters being demigods like how Rick Riordan writes his characters, these characters are descendants of the descendants of the descendants of the Norse gods. It's like really far down the line. Kind of like how Rick did the Romans in his Heroes of Olympus series, but even further down the line, like their powers are so diluted that hardly anyone has powers. Except for a few chosen kids, our main characters, who have to act as the gods' representatives, I can't say the word, in Ragnarok. So basically, they have to act in the gods' place to stop the end of the world. That seems fair. But it's very interesting because the gods are dead, and if they don't do it, there is literally nothing stopping the end of the world. Where in every other mythology book I've read, it's like if the demigods or heroes don't do it, the gods are still there. They can stop the events from happening themselves. It's just they have a set of rules, and really it's just they're too lazy. Next I have Envisioned by Caroline Kenyon, and this is the 7th book in our Chronicles and Nyx series. Is it the 7th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, this is the 7th book, and I've been planning on getting this book for such a long time, but I was always procrastinating because I don't think there are many books left in the series, and I know it's gonna be good, but it's also a really long series. So I was like, if I buy this book, I'm going to be more inclined to read the series, and it's like, do I really want that hanging over my head like all the rest of my TBR books? And I didn't, but I couldn't pass up the book for $5. Next up I have Invaded by Melissa Landers, and this is the 2nd book in the Alienated trilogy. I think it's just a trilogy, I'm not 100% sure. And this is a sci-fi series where I've been looking for the 2nd book for a while, but I didn't want to pay too much for it because me and sci-fi books really don't mesh very well. But I keep on wanting to give them a try because I actually have read a couple of good ones, like the Lux series and the Lumine trilogy, even though the last book's not out yet. I've really only had like 2 or 3 bad experiences with sci-fi. 2 I don't remember very well because they were adult books and really didn't care for them. And then the 5th Wave trilogy. But I didn't want that to stop me from finding a book series that I would absolutely love, but I never gave the chance to because it was sci-fi. Next up I have Wayfarer, the 2nd and final book in the Passenger duology by Alexandra Bracken. And can I just say that I love, love, love this cover. Not only is the design beautiful, it's also my favorite colors. I also love the book Naked. It has a beautiful ship in gold with the purple, just really prettier than I thought it would be. Now, except for a novella bind-up, I have all of Alexandra Bracken's books, but I will not be reading the Passenger duology right away because I want to read the Darkest Mind series first. I've just been procrastinating reading that series, even though I get real X-Men feels from it, and I love X-Men so much. Then I have This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, and I've been trying to get this book for so long, but it's either always sold out somewhere or it's a ridiculous amount of money for the book, and it's like, I know I'm not going to get to it right away, so I'll just hold off until I can find it at somewhere that's cheaper. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is an adult book and it has monsters throughout it. I don't know, I haven't really looked into this book that much, but it's like everyone has been raving about it, and it's like I really want to read this along with her, what is it, A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. Next up I have They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera, and the title alone should say it all. They both die in the end. And I can already feel my tear ducts working and my heart just trying to move its way up into my throat, because the feels are real, and I haven't even started the book because I've only read one Adam Silvera book. I already know that he's gonna take my heart, beat it with a hammer, throw it down a well, and then fill the well up with acid. So I'm not emotionally stable enough to read this book at the moment, but when I am, I'm jumping right into this. And then I'm going to immediately jump into a happy contemporary afterwards. Then finally, the last book that I have for this haul is Harry Potter, A Journey Through a History of Magic. I wasn't really interested in this book when I seen it until I was looking through it, and there was a lot of stuff that goes along with the writing process and editing process for the Harry Potter books, which I'm really interested in. I'm always interested in learning more about the writing process of books, and since this is one of my favorite series, that makes me even more interested. Well, that is the end of this book haul, and I'm going to try to lift all these books up because I'm kind of boxed in here and I have to pick them up or I can't move. Audiobooks. Okay. 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 They have a mind of their own, I swear. So, here are all the books that I bought in October and November. And oh my god, they're gonna kill me. Okay, down. Okay, you know, this should be an Olympic sport, book lifting, because it's dangerous, like every other sport. Well, I'm going to go and try to find spots on my shelf for all these books. Wish me luck, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!